happy Monday, guys. Obviously, exciting week as we're coming close to the end of training camp, going into preseason. Game 1 Saturday is going to be exciting to see. I'm more excited because obviously in the previous years we've never seen our quarterback start in any of the preseason games, so this will be a first. Obviously, seeing that Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell have been battling training camp and now going into the preseason to see who is going to be the number 1 QB to start. Do I think the first person that takes the snap in the first preseason game is indicator of who's going to start? At this point, obviously, it's still in the air. I think that, as the preseason game progresses, it's going to be alternating between the two and seeing who's the best and gives us the best opportunity, the less turnovers, because I feel like I was seeing that in the training camp that Aiden O'Connell was still kind of throwing a lot of interceptions in training camp, which is nice. Like I said, you want to take all that dust off and start throwing the ball and getting that, reps in, obviously. So it's going to be interesting to see who they go with the first preseason game. Obviously, I think Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew are probably equal in the comparison of quarterbacks. Not one is better than the other. Obviously, if that was the case, we would know who we would start with in obviously the first preseason game. I think Aiden O'Connell is coming into second year, so I do expect him to be a lot better than the previous year, especially considering that he is competing and now is aware he's competing for that QB position. And then you have Gardner Minshew, who's been into multiple different organizations and has come out as a quarterback that knows how to adapt and throw the ball. So there's that benefit in the veteran that he knows how to be easily flexible and adaptable. I think that's going to be interesting to see who they play out. Obviously, I think either or is a great starting quarterback at this point. Obviously, some people have their doubts and, obviously wishing that we could have picked up another quarterback at this point. I think we're building for the future, and unfortunately, I don't know how well Davante Adams' few years that he has left of the season is going to benefit him. It's going to be kind of disappointing. I really hope that we do well with this season and the next season. However, we can't be in the middle pack again this year because like we saw when we fell into the middle, we kind of were stuck with different picks in the sense of the draft. So for wanting to be number 1 contender and getting a QB next year or the year after, it's kind of either you do really well or you kind of have to trade some assets, and it's going to be interesting to see. It's kind of uneasy in the sense of going into the season as previous years where we had a lot of more hope to make a playoff run. Obviously, I'll be happy if we make a playoff run, but do I expect that with this team? It's hard to say, considering that, we have a lot of missing holes, and especially the quarterback situation is one of the biggest. Do I think one of them is going to be better in the long run? Not really. It's kind of hard to tell. Obviously, preseason is going to be a big indicator of who you see in the potential of quarterbacks. Clearly, it's going to be a limited vision because, as everybody else knows, not everybody that goes in the first preseason game play all their starters, and that's including defense. But it would be interesting in the sense of seeing these quarterbacks go against some defenses and see who does better and who reads the read better and the defensive read, and making sure they choose the right person that's wide open to obviously get the most yards and put points on the board. So I'm excited. I think this is the first year that we've seen our quarterbacks duke it out, and in previous years we never really saw some starters, so it's kind of like a bummer. Obviously, we don't expect Davante Adams to play any of the games of this preseason, and I don't think you would want to anyways, because these preseason games are not very important in the sense of, receivers that know that they're going to be starting. So obviously, Davante Adams has a lot of dust to kind of shake off, like in the previous years, in the last year that he was here in the first seasons, he first few games, he kind of had you could tell he was a little slower to get into speed and momentum. I think that's a lot to do with not playing preseason games. Obviously, it's going to be kind of, interesting to see what offensive line starts, what receivers are going to be in the first few snaps, because I think that makes a big difference as a quarterback to benefit you in the long run, because now you're playing game time, real game time, in a sense of not regular games, that you get to see how your team coordinates, how the flow is. And I'm kind of nervous because obviously we've had a lot of changes, including quarterback situation that, I'm trying to keep my expectations high, but again, if we're going to look into having a quarterback next year, we can't be in the middle pack like we have been in the previous years. and think that we're going to get our #1 quarterback or the quarterback of the future. Obviously, we've seen what Baker Mayfield did for the Bucs, so I don't think that our hope in playoff runs is zero. I still think that, you know, this team has a lot of heart and a lot of players that want to be great to obviously get to this point. So I'm excited, and tell me what you guys think. Do you think there's one benefit over the other? Do you think Aiden O'Connell is a much better starter versus, you know, Gardner Minshew, or do you think the opposite? Gardner Minshew, with all his experience in multiple organizations, he's probably of the better of the two. Well, I'm excited. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope to, you know, we'll have another video and talk about how the preseason went. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Bye.